All right, parents, hands up. Who has been in this situation? You're shopping for weekly goods in a big box store, and your child is not exactly thrilled. I mean, they could be at home playing with, hopefully not screens, or at least maybe with their siblings or their friends. Not an ideal situation, and almost anything you can do to get through that shopping is worth it. Well, my name is Scott Toy Guru Knightlick. I have been a brand manager and a toy designer for the last 20 plus years, but I'm also a parent and I'm also a collector. And those three things together have given me a very unique perspective on the toy industry. That's why I started SpectraCreative.com to help toy companies develop better product that fits the emotional needs of parents. And what bigger emotional need is there than to get through your errands and get your child home safely without causing a fuss? Now, when you're in a grocery store, it's pretty easy because there are sugar cereals and candy bars and ice cream. So there's stuff in almost every aisle that's going to appeal to a child. And just throwing in a bag of chips or, an extra box of Oreos is sometimes going to appease them and create happiness. With a big box store, it's a little different because they have a toy aisle, and every kid knows this because we don't have toy stores anymore. So they know the source of toys is usually the toy aisle in the big box store. And if you're shopping in the big box store, there is pretty much only one thing that a child is asking for that's going to get them to behave while you're running your errands. So, what has this led to in the toy industry? This new emotional need and new reason for toy product. Obviously, bringing a child to the toy aisle is a reward into itself, but walking away from that toy aisle without anything is a little tough. And that, ladies and gentlemen, created, whatever phrase I'm not getting out of my mouth, what's called the shut up gift, or the shut up toy. Yes, this is actually the term that the toy industry uses, both retailers and manufacturers. And no, I'm not talking about something like this where it's, shut up, Meg. What I'm talking about is a product that is literally designed, priced, and placed at retail specifically to help get your child, no offense, but to shut up. So when you look at the layout of a big box store, it's there to essentially supply all of your weekly needs. Whether you need health and beauty, you need groceries, you need clothing, you need, something for your car or electronics or your baby, there's an aisle for that, and that's exactly the purpose of a big box store. It's the idea that you can go to one retailer and get everything that you need for one particular week. And of course, big box stores also have, and to some parents' chagrin, the toy aisle. Yes, the dreaded and wonderful toy aisle. I mean, for us adult collectors, it's the only reason we tend to go to big box stores, in and out, right? So the toy aisle is there for the main reason in a big box store for parents who need gifts, specifically gifts for their child's friend's birthday, because that's the event that comes up the most in the year. Sure, you've got their own birthday and you've got the holidays, but those only come around once a year. Your child's friend's birthday probably comes around once a month. A different friend has a party, and that's why that aisle is there. Now, as far as the Shut Me Up gift, this is something developed around a very specific price point and very specific placement at retail. $5. That's it. You want to create a toy that's going to cost $4.99. Ideally, it's a toy that's going to keep the child busy. Maybe just their hands busy because it's something they can squeeze and squish and it gives some kind of reaction or fulfills that emotional, tactile sensation of creating a reaction within the toy. That's very fulfilling for a child. What doesn't work as a shut-me-up gift, even if it's priced at the right price point, is something that you have to wait till you get home to have the payoff, like a building toy. You can't build this in the store. You have to wait till you go home before you can break out the Legos. So not necessarily the best choice to get a child to behave. Something like a basic doll, and even a toy that you can take out of the package and, obviously keep the package so you pay for it, but you can still take it out while you're in the store, and the child can comb the hair, they can, pull the dress on and off, they can, do other things with doll play, or the opposite being action figure play. Again, a very, very basic action figure. Not one, nothing like, I'm not talking about Marvel Legends or, something upscale like that. Much more of something that, again, can occupy the child while you are shopping. Plush, also a great option because, again, it has a lot of tactile relationships to the child. They can pet it, they can squeeze it, they can feel it, they can hug it. That's going to give them a lot of positive feedback, what's called proprioceptive feedback to their brain. Now, most toys are skewed in what's called a planogram. This is when you're in aisle. Almost actually everything at retail is designed to a planogram. Low price points on top, high price points below. Mid price points on the shelf. Pretty simple, right? I mean, it's not that simple, but that's kind of the shrunk down version. The bottom is usually for big box items for Christmas and holidays. And this was no different in, the vintage era. I mean, looking at, toy aisles in the 80s, same thing. You had lower price points on top, you had mid-sized play sets in the middle, and then as you got lower and lower, the price points go up. Bigger spaceships, bigger play sets, bigger doll houses, you name it. The biggest item is going to be on the bottom, and that's the one that's actually going to sell the fewest. You're going to sell way more items of the items at the lower price point. This is all scientifically designed to help shoppers shop so that they know where their arm should go. They instinctively know if their arm goes to the higher rack, it's a lower price point. Now, most parents want to avoid the toy aisle entirely when they have children in a big box store because even just seeing the toy aisle reminds them, toys, there's toys there. And that can even cause the tantrum. That can even cause a child to be upset who's not already upset. Not to mention a child wanting to wander the aisles to see everything, and especially when you have limited time to do your shopping, keeping your child under control, focused, let's get in, let's get the groceries, the toilet paper, the scented candles, and then we can head out. Now, retailers spend a lot of money understanding shoppers' behaviors. Manufacturers, too. Well, pretty much anyone who's, Fortune 500 company is doing this. Because understanding the emotional connection between product and consumer and shopping experience is the key to success at retail. And second plug for SpectreCreative.com, that's what we do. And understanding even the difference between one retailer and another and the different expectations shoppers have when they're at one specific retailer, understanding and having that knowledge is key. Knowledge is gold here because you can design product to meet these needs. So retailers and manufacturers, about 10 years ago, really noticed that an emotional need consumers have at retail is to get through that shopping trip and specifically keep their children under control. So their answer to this was they started creating what's called incremental placement, which means toys placed outside of the toy aisle. One example is the collector wall that's usually behind electronics, but this isn't really the best example because it's really meant to be a home for adult collector product that doesn't need to sell as well as kid product. Where you really see this is something like front-end merchandising, where you now see end caps at every register giving you one last chance to get something before you check out. And I guarantee you some of these are going to be toy product. An even better example is something like this. So at Target right now, they have a little pop-up shop in the clothing area for Disney. And it is a combination of additional clothing items, and this is in the clothing department between boys and girls clothing, but you will see it's also covered in toys. There's toy product and clothing product. This is not in the toy aisle. This is far from it, in terms of how a big box store is laid out. But this is placed there deliberately, purposely, because while shopping for clothing, which is boring for kids, if you can grab a toy off of this display, this incremental placement display, you have now gotten that child to behave while you are shopping for shoes and socks and shorts, which for children, until they start appreciating clothing in their teens, is pretty boring overall. And that's what incremental placement does. It's the solution to avoiding the toy aisle and delivering a shut-me-up gift. The parent is happy, the child's emotional needs are fulfilled, the parent's emotional needs are fulfilled, and you can essentially instantly go from a child who's upset and crying and not happy that they've been dragged on mom and dad or grandma or grandpa or aunt and uncle's errands because that's the last thing they want to be doing and they're just hungry and tired, to this happy child because they got a very simple $4.99 product that has tactile and emotional proprioceptive feedback, meaning it gives feedback to the brain that I'm happy, I can touch this, I can feel this, and it's tactile, it's entertaining me. It's not easy to do, and not every $5.99 toy works. It's very, very difficult to have a perfect toy to meet this emotional need, but when you can pull it off, there are huge sale benefits and incremental sale drivers essentially for the brand. You will receive a much higher velocity on your return by successfully having incremental placement, and specifically by filling incremental placement with your $4.99 or $5.99 Shut Me Up gift that is designed specifically to fulfill those emotional needs. For mom, I get to do my shopping. For kid, I'm happy now, I just got a toy. I'll behave for you now, Mom. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Likes and subscriptions are much appreciated because they tell YouTube to share this with other people. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below and I'll make sure to answer. I answer every single one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.